All right, welcome everybody tonight. Glad to have you here for our members meeting and the holiday party. For those of you that haven't met me, I'm Lee Booley. I'm the assistant director at the Nashville Public Library, and I've had the pleasure of NECAT, once it joined the library, being put in my division. So I've gotten to know the workings of the studio and this crew over the past. It's getting close to 2 years now, which is hard to believe that time goes by that quickly. I'm really pleased to announce and to welcome the 124 new members that joined in 2023. I'd love to see that we're growing. Yeah, everybody, give yourselves a round of applause. And I do want to make sure that I thank Shauna Lynn and the NECAT board for these lovely cookies and the coffee. If you haven't had some, you will have to get some after our meeting. I'm really looking forward to digging into that. It's a big cookie. So, as I said, I am with the Nashville Public Library senior staff, and I would love to invite you all to visit our library branches. If you're not already a regular library user, you can sign up for a library card online through our website or at any of our 21 locations, and we'll be happy to get you set up. There's a lot of exciting connections happening between the library and NECAT now. Okay, so I have a note on here to tell you all to use Hoopla to watch movies and stream music like we were doing with the fireplace earlier. There were no commercials, so we were really excited about that. And I'm also able to provide a bit of an update about the building. Some of you may not be aware, but I'll tell you tonight that this facility has been an ongoing agreement between Metro Nashville and Nashville State Community College. And I believe it was a 25-year agreement that started in 1999. So all of that to say, the terms of the contract end at the end of January 2025. So we are going to be moving. And myself, with input from the team here in front of you, working with the library director and Metro Nashville through the mayor's office and also general services, have been looking to figure out a new home for NECAT, because NECAT's really important, right? And what we hope to see is an even better studio with more options for you all to come and make your good creative work that you do. So right now, the location that there's the most focus on is the existing Donaldson Public Library location. They're building a new Donaldson location, and that is one that General Services has identified for a feasibility study, and we're currently in talks with architects for plans for what that would look like. So we are not sure that it'll be ready in time. That's been a challenge, so there may be a transition period, but I just wanted to let you all know that that is in the works. And of course, we welcome your feedback as we move through this process. Our main goal is to make sure that we do have a facility for NECAT for all of you to come and hear great content. Okay, and so the last thing I have is that I've been gathering feedback from all of you, but you just don't know it, over the past year to find out whether or not Cameron is on the nice or not nice list. And so I'm going to have him open this in front of you, and we'll see if it is a box of coal or not.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Do this for television. I hope the cameras can see this. Okay. Big reveal.
Be careful with it. Very fragile coal.
Although it was this says swing for the fences. I'll take it.
So this is for Cameron, but it's really for everybody. it's not an award, but it's meant to be inspirational. He's going to talk about some collaborations and some exciting projects that we're doing out in the community. But just to be great, we don't have to win awards, but we want to do our best with this, right? Because it's a lot of fun when we really throw ourselves into it. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I also know you like baseball.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. World champion Texas Rangers. Just happened.
Go Nashville Sound.
Yeah, I love the Nashville Sounds bit. So I'm here for the studio report. I just kind of want to give you guys an update on some things that have happened this past year. We like to keep everyone informed. Can I get a quick show of hands? Who joined NECAT this year or made your first production this year? So quite a few of you. So we want to, welcome you guys in for that. But we're just so happy to have new people all the time. I tell people all the time we have 3 channels running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We cannot get enough content to feed the beast that is this network. But we want you making new stuff all the time. And talking about that, with our studio bookings this year, we had over 300 member-produced sessions in 2023. That's 300 different times that someone was coming here to make different productions. We had 3,200 unique visits. That's 3,200 different individuals who walked through that front door, signed in, and used that thing. If you didn't sign in tonight, please do that on the way through. It kind of helps us get a gauge for this whenever we go back and we start asking for more funding to get into, buying new equipment, to getting into a new building, all that. It really does help. So be sure to sign in every time you come in, and make sure that if you have guests come in for your shows, make sure that they're signing in too. We had 736 episodes for television this year. That's 736 new episodes, not counting the reruns, but just new episodes of different television programs, and that's pretty exciting to hear. That's stuff that you can see that people here in Nashville have made, that you can watch on any of our channels on 9, 10, or 19. We also want to continue to invite you to bring us your photos and your posters for your show. So you probably noticed when you're walking through the hallways down to the studio tonight, we've been hanging new photos. That could be class photos and production photos, photos for productions that may have happened outside of the studios. We want you to take a look at those. You'll probably see some of your faces in those photographs, and familiar faces for people that you may have went to classes with and things like that. But we're trying to rotate those throughout every couple months, trying to put up some new pictures just to kind of show off what's happening. But when it comes to posters, if you have a show and you make a 11 by 17 poster for it and bring it to us, we'll frame it up and put it in the hallway. And what that does for us is it allows us every time we give a tour to kind of show people hey, here's all the different things that are happening in these photos, and here's the kind of shows that we may see, because they may have never heard your show before. But if I have a poster hanging there, I can explain to them a little bit about what it is and what it's about, and who you are as a producer. So it's a great way for all of the staff here to be able to kind of pump your show up. So I encourage you to send us, bring those by, or give us a digital version. We'll get them printed for you and make sure they get up. I also want to talk about some of the collaborations that we've had this past year. Just different organizations here in town that we've worked with to make special television programming. We worked with the Nashville Film Festival this year, the 48-Hour Film Project, Friends Lock Community, the Tennessee Screenwriters Association, the Nashville Women in Film and Television, Celebrate Nashville, the 54-Hour Film Festival, the Chinese Arts Alliance, and MPL Production Services, which are all listed here. We're always looking for collaborations with other nonprofits and different film organizations. We encourage you all to get involved there. Tennessee Screenwriters Association is one I'll explain at this point, but we had them come to us last year, and they had been looking for a new home post-pandemic. And what they did is every last Wednesday of the month, they come in here and they basically film a show where they talk to a working professional screenwriter and have talkbacks with the audience about different things you can do to get your movie made, get your television program done and things like that. And it was a really cool situation where they had a bunch of people who had been doing a lot of writing, but they haven't been able necessarily to get productions off the ground. So a group of them came through, they did our classes, they made their own television show, and it has turned into all these other projects. Short films have popped up out of it. I know different people have worked on different things through people they met at NECAT. So we encourage you all, come out that last Wednesday of the month, see what they're doing, but get involved with the 54s coming up. I know Ben's here in the back. He's a great person to talk to. If you ever want to make a short film and you're like, hey, I don't know exactly how to do that, he's a great person to talk to. We air the award show live here in this room every year for the last, I don't know how many years at this point, but we want you to get involved with things like that. So if ever you're like, hey, I want to do this, we can point you in those directions to get you involved with these different organizations.
We do have somebody from Women in Film and Television, too. John is here somewhere.
Patricia's over.
Oh, I'm Patricia.
Patricia.
Yeah.
Another great organization that you can get involved with that do all, they have a conference every year. They have monthly meetings for, luncheons, for women where they do talkbacks that we've been involved with in the past. So much wonderful stuff that's happening. So we want NECAT to be a central hub for all the different types of creatives. So like every one of you that are here in this room are here because you want to create and make things. But there are other great organizations in town that you can lean on. Even like Lee was saying before, at National Public Library, there's things that you can use at the library. Check out your books. Go in there and get those DVDs, listen to those commentaries, all that fun stuff where you can get an education on this stuff. Use it. Come back and talk to us about it and see how we can help get these new programs on television. That's most of what I've got for you, and I'm going to pass this over to Eric, who's going to talk a little bit about some new equipment.
Awesome. So you guys might have noticed I've got this light over here. This is an older light, but NPT was kind enough to donate 6 of these to us. These are really fun because we can do a lot of different things with them. But I know Dan in the back over here has been asking, and Sam just asked me from another producer wanting to do a gobo with like a custom logo and different stuff. These will allow us to do things like that, so we can project a logo up on the black curtain and things like that. If you guys want to do those types of things, come talk to us. We can tell you what you need to do to get that done. But also these can be used for different productions and things like that. And then the big one that we got is we got 2 brand new editing computers. The library has set these up for us, so that way you guys can come in and edit your programs and different things. I will remind everybody, always bring your hard drive whenever you're in here producing something, so that way we can give you your footage. But also, when you use these computers, don't save anything to it. For security reasons, these are set up so that way every night they format themselves and wipe anything that's saved on there. So always bring your hard drive and save everything you have to that hard drive. So you have that. And then the last thing we want to talk about is we just repainted here in the studio. We're going to actually do some touch-ups. We had a big production in here last week. So the green is getting redone, and the black over here is going to be fresh coats of paint here in the next couple weeks. But yeah, I think that's it on mine. So, Sam.
Hello. So I'll be talking about the classes. We have our new class dates set for next year. So if you want to come back through any of the Production 1 classes or any of the others, or anybody that does, we have our Production 1 classes listed here. They're all going to be the normal Saturday times from 10 a.m. to 6:30. And then we have the next few Production 2 classes. Those are the same. It's a 2-night from 6 to 10 p.m. both nights. The green screen and lighting will be on Sundays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then audio will be Sundays from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. That is going to be really focused more on music, miking instruments, things like that, how to mix. And we'll be using, if you want to come through those classes, there'll be some other shows we'll be working on, which will be an in-studio concert. We'll bring in some artists. You can help mic them up and then also record them. We'll be doing like a 30-minute concert with them. And then we're also working on a series that's an on location. So we'll have some venues that we'll go to. That won't be so much on the audio. That will just be recording the video. But if you would like to help on any of those shows, come through the audio class. And then we also have the editing, which will be on Saturdays from 11 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you'll sit with Eric out here and learn how to edit with Adobe Premiere Pro. With the classes, you can still call us to get signed up, but we are going to be using a new system, which is using LibCal through Nashville Public Library's website. So you can go there, sign up. Again, you can also just call us. We can totally do that for you as well.
Can you tell a little bit more about how to get to that on the Nashville Public Library website?
I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, I can talk about that. Actually, after today,
it'll be on ours.
It will link from our website on how to register from classes to this specific page, so that way you can sign up for classes there.
Don't look at it tonight. It's not set up yet.
It'll be live tomorrow.
Thanks.
And then with that, we have also switched to only credit card. Everything's going through the library now, so we cannot take cash or checks. I almost said that wrong. No cash or checks, but we can take card. So call us or whenever you're here to renew your membership. Yeah, so I think that's it.
Fantastic. So we want to open this up to a Q&A time for everybody. So we have a microphone that is set up right over here. For the sake of the recording, we want to make sure that you can get to that. So if anyone has questions for us, we can, if you want to step up to this or if someone wants to grab it and you can pass it around as far as the cord will go. Somebody want to jump in on the first question for us, get us going? Will you step to the microphone for us? Thank you. And go ahead and just state your name beforehand, just so everyone else in the room knows who you are.
My name's William Anthony. My name's William Anthony, producer, first-time producer. My question is, why Donaldson?
It's a great question.
Why not? There ain't any places in Nashville or West Nashville besides Nashville State you could have moved into? Cause I'm sorry. Because people like me who don't have a car have to bum a ride and have to take a bus. I can't come in all the way to Donaldson to produce programming. Transportation issues.
First, I want to thank you for that feedback, and it's definitely valuable feedback. The way we have, and when I say we, I really mean like General Services and Metro Nashville have come to the Donaldson location is from them looking at existing Metro buildings, because there is a cost associated with. Can you not hear me? Can somebody give me more sound? I really don't have a voice that can project loud. So let me back up. Okay, so.
Can you repeat the question?
He was asking why Donaldson.
Why the Donaldson location?
Yeah, and because
Okay, so there is a cost associated, a very high cost, millions of dollars to build a facility. And so what the General Services was looking at are existing Metro properties that are, one, available, and then two, could be retrofitted to house the functions of NECAT. And that's actually the only building in the current properties that we've been presented with. And for that reason, rather than have no studio, that's kind of the options that we feel like we're presented with at this point. I hate to say it, but yeah, it's just super expensive. And when you think about how we're operating under the taxpayer dollars, that's where we are.
And I would also echo, one of the things that we did really push towards Metro was the idea that it needed to be on a main thoroughfare and it needed to have a bus line, just so people could get to it. I don't know if anyone here tonight took a Metro bus to get to here. Access is everything. It's in the name of what we do with public access. We want to make sure that people can get to it. We know that whenever the time comes that we have to move, there will be growing pains. We hope you all come with us and continue to make television with us. We're still trying to figure it out. It's still very early on, which is why we appreciate feedback like this, because it helps us go back to the powers that be and have those conversations to see what all the options are.
There's not any dark space, large warehouse locations that can be retrofitted?
Not currently as a Metro property that I'm aware of. Nothing that has been presented to us to see.
That would be a perfect option, would be a dark space, large warehouse location.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so our goals were, if we had our dream location, it would be something that would be easy access, really would be able to build from the ground up, but certainly like being on a bus route and somewhat centrally located is important. I'll say a hand in the back. If you can come to the microphone so that everyone will be able to hear, that'd be great.
Hi, my name is Stacy Green. And just to piggyback on that question, is it just a thought to going into a partnership with private studios? I know of two, Film House and View. Would that be an option? They both have full-fledged studio space, editing bays.
I mean, anything is possible. We haven't had an invitation for either one of those places. I can only give you perspective from this place that we're standing in right now. When this building was built 25 years ago, the deal that was made is the ground that was underneath us, Nashville State leased to us for $1 per year, and basically public access built a building on top of it, with the agreement being that at the end of 25 years, they would get the building back, and that's been a really good deal for us. It really is just the cost of any time that we're renting something, it's money going out. Again, I think we're open to all options. If anyone knows whatever any of those places that wants to have a conversation to see what we can do, we're happy to talk to them. But it's
What about Skyways?
same thing. It's just like if we just haven't had the invitation from any place like that.
What about a state, another state school? There's TSU, who has a whole media and theater
Sure.
department.
I think, to echo what Cameron is saying, they are good options. It is something where we are able to communicate with general services our needs and wants, and I think what you're saying, like we hear and like have communicated and will continue to do so. It's just a matter of like what is a real option and like on the table. And I feel like we've been talking internally, at least, for over a year from like you may remember the feasibility studies with Comcast. We tried to get a little bit of feedback at that time, and unfortunately, there just hasn't been anyone like step up and say like, "Hey, we could provide this," and to provide a real contact. And I know, from my chair at least, I'll only speak for myself. My biggest priority is to make sure that NECAT continues to have a space and to advocate for that wherever it may be, because I'm open to whatever's best as long as we can actually make it happen.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so I was wondering if by chance there was a way to maybe convince them to maybe draft up a new contract. I don't know if that's been asked, and it almost sounds like the simplest answer, because what are they going to use this area for? Are they just going to tear it down?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's definitely where we also started. When the previous library director and myself were made aware of NECAT joining the library, and then that the lease on this facility would be ending, the first thing we did was we met with the president and a couple key administrators of Nashville State Community College to ask just that. Can we extend the lease here? Can we continue to operate here? Because things are going well, and that would be really, really great. Unfortunately, the feedback we got is that while they wanted to work with us to make the transition as smooth as possible, they do need the space, and they are unable to offer an extension. They've just grown tremendously. They are a school, and their priority is serving the students.
Do they have a media program?
Yes.
They do have a media program. They don't have a specific filmmaking program.
Why don't they combine it?
That would be a question you'd have to ask the Nashville State. I will say they have been incredible partners for us for the last 20 plus years. I mean, they have constantly, even a couple weeks ago, we had them in here to do a concert. Anytime we've ever needed something from them, they have been very gracious in allowing us to use other parts of the campus for projects and things like that. There's always possibility in the sense that there's ongoing conversations happening all the time, but it's hard for us to speak to. But it's hard for us to speak for them, and they're not here to answer that question.
Yeah.
Utilize social media.
Yeah.
I will say that we are requesting another meeting to ask just that, but to manage expectations realistically, they have very graciously but firmly let us know that they need the space. They're at capacity in terms of space, and it's been 25 years. So,
and any extension that they would grant would be limited. It's like if they gave us any more time for the transition to get to the new studio, I could see that as a possibility. Again, I'm just speaking for myself there. But long term, it's like they want this space back for their students. So it's not a long term solution for the future of what NECAT's going to be.
but the great news is that there is support from Metro to making sure that there is still a facility.
Yeah.
And I do think that it's really important for members to express that they care about the ongoing existence of NECAT and an ongoing dedicated space for NECAT. And your feedback certainly lets me hear how much this means to you and how important it is that we get it as best we can to serve you all.
So is that at the whim of the political climate, or is it already pretty much a done deal.
As far as moving, we know that that's a done deal.
No, I'm talking about whether or not you get a space.
There has been money set up that's through Comcast for the last few years that we've been saving. There's been more money that's been pledged by Metro, and again, that's also, council has to vote on things like that. But we're confident that we have backing from the city council and the mayor's office. They want to see NECAC continue. And the thing is, I would not look at this like, oh, we're losing our space. Like, we're not talking about trying to move into something that's worse. We're trying to build something that's new and state of the art. It's going to be really cool when we get to where we're going. It's just a matter of like, we've got to get there first.
Right. Sam just whispered in my ear, like, and she could probably say it better than me.
Yeah,
and I wish
sorry.
you would.
I didn't want to take over.
Yeah, please do, Sam.
Yeah, no, the new studio, the plan is that we're going to have a space probably. Sorry, yeah. So the plan is to have a studio that's probably about this big, that's just kind of like black box style, and then another space that's green screen, so you're not stuck having to split this. We're also hoping to have a small recording studio that's got a live room and an ISO booth and a control room, a podcast studio. We'll have other editing bays, and we'll have like dressing rooms for your talent. We'll have like so much more space.
A classroom and
Yeah. So like yeah.
You say we're not like right now. It's like if one person books a studio, one person gets to use it. Where the new space, ideally, you would have multiple studios, so multiple people could be working in different sides of the building at different times. So there's going to be a lot more collaboration. There's going to be a lot more production. There's just going to be a lot more availability. And again, like Sam was saying, it's like right now, it's like whenever they built the studio 25 years ago, they didn't put in a dressing room. Like there's a public bathroom in the front, and if you've ever had to come in to do makeup here, you know that can be hard sometimes. We have, what I'll say for all four of us, like we did go through, we toured all of the local television stations here in town. We looked at some different production studios and just kind of saying like, hey, what do we need to be thinking about and building for the future? Because we want to make the next version of what NECAC's going to be, make it bigger and better than ever. It's not a matter of like, hey, let's, find a space where we can, like survive. But it's like, but at the same time, it's like we don't want to be left without a home because for any amount of time, it's like if we don't have a space to make something, we're all off the air for a little bit of time. And we don't want that.
Is there anybody that is interested in the organization that wants to have their name on something?
As far as like donating money to have their name on the studio, that is definitely a conversation that we've had internally. There's no one to speak of right now that we can say that they've committed money to that, though.
Well, I'm talking about, there's plenty of big names out there.
Sure.
Is there any of them arts-minded that you could reach out to and talk to?
I definitely think there will be conversations like that going forward as we whenever we get to the planning. It's also early right now as far as like talking to the architects and all of that of what it's going to be. We don't know exactly where it's going to be or what it's going to be just yet. It's all just still very early.
I can say just from being on the board of Women in Film and Television, people are moving here and asking for these kind of things. And they're expecting it, so we have to step up and do something like this because it's very important.
Yeah.
And I don't know yet how to do it, but I got it now.
Well, what I would say to you is that there will come a time in the not too distant future whenever we will need you to advocate for us by talking to your city council members, both at the meetings, the people that are in your neighborhoods and things like that, to let them know how you're using this space, to let them know it's important to you and how it has touched your life in that way. Those are the kind of things that help get these things done. We're not so worried about not having a home. It's just like right now it's just the calendar of events of like we have X amount of time here versus when we got to be in the new space. We want to make sure there's not too much overlap between that.
Yeah, thanks, Cameron. Just interjecting, the booth was just letting me know that if you are going to say something, to please move to the microphone so that one, everyone can hear, and two, they can get it on the stream. So they were giving me the motion. So.
This isn't a question, it's a comment. I'm commending you all for doing what you're doing to try to move someplace. I don't know how many producers we have here. We're doing a weekly show, and I'm telling Eric I want to go to nightly, and he's telling me that's not ever going to happen. But right now, if you're producing a show, you know that it's hard to get time right now. So as far as trying to stay here, forget that. We need something bigger. I'd like to be someplace where we could have 2 or 3 studios, because right now you put up there that we've got, 300 new people that have signed up? It's only going to get worse, because right now I hear producers saying we can't get time. it's only going to get worse unless we get to a newer space. And it's like you said, you're talking about having storage, because this back here, when you bring in props and sets, we don't have any place to put them. We don't have parking spaces. I have guests sometimes that can't walk. So I bought a wheelchair to bring them in here. It'd be nice not having to walk a mile and a half when you start bringing things in here. So keep working. It'd be great to have some place where we can have more space. This is not it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Anybody else have questions, comments? I'm gonna recruit Ben to the microphone. Like I say, just as one of our partners, just to talk about the 54 real quick. Talk about their kickoff and kind of what's coming up for that, just so if anyone here wants to get involved.
Yeah.
Put you on the spot then.
So I'm one of the producers for the 54 Film Fest that is in Middle Tennessee. We also, okay, is this mic? Can we get it on where I can?
We're a learning lab, and Sam's gonna go help with that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Give us 1 second.
I'll wait.
I'm gonna actually take a picture of the audience because as I was hearing all this passion, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of people in this room that care, and I want to document that you all were here and you cared. So bear with me.
Ben, can you talk a bit for me?
So do you need us to talk so we can?
I think
do
Ben.
some filler? Okay, Ben.
Go ahead, Ben.
Hello, hello.
Still not.
Nothing.
No PA saying.
Is it on?
Take it in your hand.
So I'm Ben Jones. I'm one of the producers for the 54 Film Fest here in Middle Tennessee, and we've been doing the 54 for about 13 years. We the 48-hour film project. Some of you may have participated in it in the past, and if not, it's also a time film competition where you write, shoot, and edit a film in 54 hours or 48, and it's just a great opportunity to create something. So we give you a genre, a prop, an action, and a line of dialogue. And then 24 hours in, you get a curveball to make it fun. And then by the end of the weekend, you submit your film, and then we screen it and at the Malco in Smyrna is where it will be. And then we do our awards here at NECAT, which is a cool place to do. And we pack it in here, don't we, guys?
Yeah. We've had like
so yeah,
110 people.
it's a great way to create. And we also have an option to do it over 5+4 is what we call it, which is 9 days. So if you can't do it in a weekend, you can also produce something over 9 days. And again, it's just a great opportunity to create if you haven't done that before.
And I would love to see a group of producers for DCAT get together and make a film for the 54. Just because I say David's is a great partner. There's so many good movies that come out of this, and I think it's such a great learning experience to make something fast. It's a great spot to jump in on and say, I invite you all, check them out, get involved, come out here for the awards night. Yeah.
Could you speak to like any deadlines or when that is?
Yes, it is always the final Friday in February that we kick it off. We do it. We don't do it in a venue. We actually share all the elements online, so you don't have to go somewhere for that. Unlike the 48 has a really cool event where you get together. We don't. We have a place you're already there. You can start your creation right there, and then it goes to the end of that weekend or to 6 o'clock the following weekend for the 9-day. So 54 hours is by midnight on Sunday, and then the 9-day ends at 6 p.m. the next Sunday.
Hey, Ben, when do they need to sign up by?
We are right now doing early registration, and they need to sign up by the end of December 31 for that. And then otherwise, we'll take registrations until mid-February, and then your late registration the final week or two before. So, yes, it is 54filmfest.org or 54filmfest.com. Both will track you there.
Would anyone like to speak about one of the shows that you're creating here at NECAT? I'd love to hear from one of our new members this year to kind of just tell the audience about the show that you're making. Somebody?
Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, wonderful.
It's not out yet, but it's coming. Well, this is for tall people. I'm Patricia Leonard, and John and some of the others in here have also helped me. The show is called High Heels Cabaret,
And it's really a show giving opportunities to individuals that are desiring to do some kind of an artwork. It could be spoken word, it could be comedy, it could be reading from Shakespeare. We had a woman that did that. So it's a little bit mime, it's a little bit of everything, but it's High Heels Cabaret, and I'll tell you just a little bit about that. Everything I do has something to do with high heels. My first book, everything that I do. So we took it to the next level, and to say this is stepping up. It's not about high heels. It's stepping out of your comfort zone and stepping into a higher level of what your talents really are and feeling comfortable in that. You don't have to be an expert. You simply have a desire. So it's a variety show, and I just told Cameron a while ago that I'm getting all of the paperwork from the performers, because we had 8 performers in that show. So once that's done, then I'll bring it here hopefully next week, and then Cameron takes it from there to put it out on television. And we want to schedule more in January. So it's fun. I'm telling you, people get excited about sharing their talents. And I want to encourage people to just get out of their comfort zone and go for whatever they desire. You don't have to be an expert or a #1 songwriter or singer to be on this show. You have a desire. Again, that's High Heels Cabaret, and I'm Patricia Leonard. Thank you.
Through Women in Film and Television, like I said, they brought a whole group of women through about, I guess, almost 2 years ago now, and multiple television shows have popped up out of that class. Another great organization to, get involved with. Is this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yours isn't going into the booth for some reason.
So, yeah, say,
No idea why.
do you want to speak on your show real quick?
Oh, I was going to mention one thing too, Cameron. When Patricia mentioned booking times, January is pretty much full, if not already full. February is almost there, and starting basically January 3rd, when we get back from our New Year's vacation there, we'll start booking for March. So get in your times while you can, and get on our books. So
I want to pass this to one of our longtime members, Reggie here. Tell me about yourself and what your show is.
How y'all doing? My name is Reggie Clay. I have a show called, I have a couple of shows. I have a sports TV show called The Prospects Perspectives. It's about the highs and lows of being an up-and-coming sports prospect. So I do hockey, boxing, racing, any kind of sport. MMA. Yeah, and we actually did weigh-ins here one time. But I also have a show called They Don't Hear Us, which is giving a voice to the voiceless. And I started here. I didn't have any type of film experience or anything. I happened to come on someone's show, and this was in 1915. No, I'm just playing. In 2015. In 2015, and I was just asking questions because I'm inquisitive, and so I asked questions. People told me, how I can get involved and create my own show. So of course I went to a lot of sports things. So I started with sports first, but then with some of the stuff I do, I'm an activist inside of this city. I believe in, I film the protests, anything that's going on, and I don't have a side. I believe, it just needs to be out there for people to make a choice, their own choice, the honest truth, not 3 seconds of it, but the whole thing, and then you can make your. So I say all that to say that in 2015, I came in, started a show, and actually worked my way from Channel 19 and being on at 2:30 in the morning. When you first start, you get one of them slots it's hard to tell people, watch my show. But then it worked its way up. Like I said, with MMA, it became real popular. And so a lot of the people that's on my show is actually in the UFC now. So it's I've done some stuff with Al Sharpton. I've done some stuff with Dana White. I've done, a lot of things, and all of it came from here. I end up being on the show Nashville because of somebody I knew here and got the experience. It's just so many different experiences that I had, and I owe it all, honestly, to NECAT, because I never thought that I would know or be able to make my own TV show. I didn't know anything about film. I still feel like I know little about film, but I'm passionate and I have ideas and a vision. And sometimes, like the black magic, people come out with the black magic, I get intimidated. I'm like, they didn't teach that at NECAT. But I just want to tell y'all that it has inspired me and made me want to just learn. And so I'm even offering the whole class with some people because I've been having problems getting me a crew in. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get with Cameron, offer a class for some people that I know, 12 people, and have them all come in and we pay our money. And that way you have your team together already, you know what I mean? So y'all help each other out. So just some ideas and just telling y'all that, like I said, now I have 2 shows, and one of them has even made it to the educational channel, which is the show They Don't Hear Us, because it does have a lot of stuff on there, like Santoya Brown. When she first got out of prison, I was one of the first people to interview her because I was doing some stuff with the NAACP. And all this has helped me with being part of the community because I film it and put it out there. And now NECAT has even gave me a lane where I can put it out there for the masses. So that's my story.
Thank you, Randy. He's a big advocate for NECAT, like I said before, or he was mentioning, he got a group of people together to do a class all together in January. It's like, he was like, I want to bring in a dozen people, can you teach us? And it's like, yeah, we'll make room for that. So we want help. It's like, if you have ideas or you have bigger groups, come talk to me about it, because a lot of times we can make arrangements that way you can get people in all in one weekend. I'm going to keep calling on people unless people want to step to the microphone, but yeah, go ahead.
Hey there, my name's Daniel Spear again, and I am the director of Page to Screen, where we get many screenwriters from all over Nashville or LA to come in and just tell us how they got into the business. What is their strategies on how to write a screenplay, how formatting works, how to actually network, how to get a manager, agent, all that stuff that you need to get into the screenwriting business. So we just finished up our first season, which is really awesome. It was great. Had a lot of fun time, met a lot of great people. And now you can see most of these episodes on the wonderful NECAT channel. And we also have a YouTube channel. So if you go and Google YouTube Tennessee Screenwriters Association, you'll be able to see a show called Page to Screen. That's our show, where it's 22 minutes. You'll be able to see great episodes like from Bob Sines, Rick Reitman, and a few others. So I would definitely recommend you watch those if you're interested in screenwriting.
Pull Danny Ramsey up real quick too. Danny, go up to the mic real quick. Danny?
You back there, Danny.
Come on, Danny.
He was trying to hide.
So I want to bring Danny to the microphone. Danny's a filmmaker here in Nashville. He has made a movie in the past that we still air on NECAT, and I know you're making one right now.
Yeah.
But talk to me a little bit about that, just because, again, it's like it's not all talk shows and TV shows. There are people that are making films, and I think Danny can speak to that.
Yeah, well, I'm working on, actually I have 2 features going on now, but one I'm further on than the other. And what he's talking about is one I finished a couple years ago. It's still laying out there. They take place during the Civil War era. They're dramas. I have a friend everybody should know about. It's a place called Copper Canyon Ranch up near Hopkinsville, Kentucky. That looks like an old Wild West town. It's supposed to be an old mining town, Kentucky mining town, but there's horses there. There's a pond, fields, all kinds of cool stuff. Coming up, I need help. I've got one really stupid comedy. We're going to do the video on January 7th. And then January 14th, kind of a calling card demo for a live band with 3 dynamite singers. I ran a recording studio most of my life, or a good part of it anyway, and helped a lot of people break through with music. She was one. Susie Monick over there. You know, I'm old, man. I've been around Nashville for a long time. But about 15 years ago, or a little more maybe, Demetria Kalodimos got me into acting, and I just got the bug, and it's still deep in me. And so from doing recording stuff, it just seemed kind of natural to get into doing sight and sound. And I don't know, anything special want me to hit me on there?
No, I said just that, say the things you're making are feature-length movies.
Yeah.
Say we air that stuff here, so it's like if you got a chance of when you make something, put it out in the world, we love to see it. So.
And it's not all shot here. You can shoot in other locations and put it all together. But yeah, the film he's talking about is called Soldier's Joy, and they ran it at 9 o'clock on Saturday nights for a while. And I tell you, when they try to recruit help and actors, and you tell them, man, this is going to be on TV in Nashville for sure, they show up, they're prepared, and they're serious. They know we're serious, and this is a great, great thing. As you all know, you wouldn't be here. But it opens a lot of doors for a lot of people in those kind of ways.
Thank you, Danny.
Sure thing.
Anybody else want to share about the television program? I want to give you an opportunity to say if you're looking for volunteers, or maybe you haven't set out for your first show yet, it's a good time to jump up and just meet some people in the room. Yeah, go ahead, step to the microphone.
Wanted to add one thing there. Danny mentioned about his feature being ran on NECAT. We run. Oh, William, you can hang out there. We run all different kinds of content. So not just our standard 28, 30, and 30-minute shows. If you have a PSA you want to run, we run stuff like that. We have between every program, there's about 2 minutes or so where we run just title cards and different things like that. But there's PSAs and stuff that we can add in there. We always run stuff like that all the time. So.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is William Anthony, and I have I'm producing a show called Finding Stupid. Yes, Finding Stupid. It's where I look at topics such as censorship, centricities, and I also review stuff such as why are people being so idiocracy over a certain TV show, and I'm probably looking for a few volunteers.
And William just finished our production 1 and 2 class in the last few months. Has just finished that program, and you're set to book the studio for the first time. So if anybody wants to volunteer for Warner Williams show, after we finish tonight, we invite you all to kind of hang around, have some more coffee, hot chocolate, all that stuff. Get with him about how you can get in contact with him and maybe volunteer on the show. Yeah.
Thank you.
Share with us. Anybody else?
What's going on? Bedford, Acting Up Media. I produce a show here called The Posey Lounge. Features spoken word artists, R&B singers. I do a few other shows. One called The Session. It's like my hip hop show, like you're on TV rap, something like that, right? So I'm gonna try to do some of that here as well. I'm a filmmaker. I have a film on Tubi called Drought. We also done the Posey Lounge live at the Dark Horse Theater. I reached out to a few people today that's gonna help me out on the 12th. But yeah, my man right here, my boy Angelo, and my girl Nicole. But yeah, so NECAT is really dope. I was looking for a way to get on TV, so I figured I'd reach out, take the class, and it's been pretty a great experience. I have another show called In the Building. We just went down and we covered Art Basel down in Miami. I just finished editing it, so be on the lookout. Please.
apologize. My name is Carlton Atkins.
And my name is Angelo Tate.
And yeah, our show, which we've yet to film, what we found is hard for us to even get together to shoot, let alone try to find time to schedule to shoot. But our show is about cannabis and the benefits of cannabis, and trying to debunk some of the horror stories about what marijuana use is or cannabis use is. So that's part of it. What else?
It's very educational. So, and it's in development. So,
yeah, development hell, actually.
Anybody else? Dan?
Ooh, I was waiting for Dan to come talk about his show.
What?
I was waiting for you to come and talk about your show.
Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about our show. We, Heartland Liberty, you either love us or hate us. We are conservative politics. And what I love about this place is that they don't take a side. They let you say whatever you want to. They told us as long as you don't take your pants off, you're okay. And we have no desire to do that. Our show, we had it on Vimeo, and we had 20 shows on there. We did a show on the vaccine, and you can guess where we are on the vaccine. 20 shows, just boop, they were gone because they didn't like our opinion. They didn't like our viewpoint. We had a show that we were airing on YouTube. Halfway during the show, I was watching it, and it was gone. So we, because of our viewpoint on certain things, some of the tolerant people on the other side of views aren't very tolerant. So we can't put our stuff on a lot of places. So our show we do have now on Rumble, and so far our show stays there. So I drive during the day because of my day job. So I'm in the car and I have all these ideas, and then my production team, I've got about 6 or 8 really dedicated people, which if you're going to produce a show, you know you need that. So I have these ideas and they're like, oh, dang, Dan, what are you thinking about? So I came up with the idea that, hey, we can start doing a live show instead of recording. So we talked to the team and they're like, yeah, we can do that. So we started pushing it out live on Wednesday nights. So we're live on Rumble. So then I come up with these ideas about what we can do. And then my team says, no, we can't do that. And I said, well, no is not an answer. So we talked to Eric and Sam, and they tell us, well, we can probably figure that out. So we're doing a lot of different things that we come up with and present to them, and that's what I like about them. They never tell us you can't do that. They just say, we probably haven't done that before, but we'll figure out a way to do it. So that's what I love about these people. We're doing new things, come up with new things, and I've got ideas all the time about something that we haven't done before, but we try to do. We Zoom people in from all over the place. We Zoom multiple people in if we can't get them in the studio. We're doing live shows now, so it's just really neat. Love doing the shows.
Yeah. And Dan has given us a lot of just possibilities to do different things technically that we haven't done in the past, and it's opened up a lot of room for other members to do that because they provided software and things like that we didn't have before that were like, oh, we want this for our show, but made it available to everybody that's in the room.
Yeah, if they say, well, we need a part and we don't have it, and I just say, well, how much is it? And if it doesn't cost very much, we go ahead and get it. So if anybody wants to volunteer, my team does some really, really neat things. We come in here, used to take us an hour to get everything set up. Now, these people, I've got one team member that she used to I can't do anything. I don't know how to do anything. Now, when we come in here at 5 o'clock, she comes in at 4:30, and she has everything set up, got all the cameras, got the lights. She does it all because she's so excited about this. So we get our team in here, get everything set up. We have our guests come in, get them set up. So, I mean, our team has got it down. So anybody that just wants to learn, even if you don't agree with us politically, come by, and I mean, we're friendly to everybody. If you want to come in, I've got, I think, 3 people that can run the TriCaster, which that's the hard thing. So anybody that wants to come in and learn how to do this, come on in. We're real friendly and have a lot of fun. So.
Step to the microphone, please.
Hey again. Angelo Tate, actor, writer, director, and producer. I won my first award in film about 2 years ago, so I do have some experience doing this, and I took the production 1 and 2 class with this lovely gentleman here. So I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try a live pitch. So let's hope for that approval. Okay. So I've always had dreams of being on Saturday Night Live. You know, it's the actor in me. Grew up loving people like Kristen Wiig, Kenan Thompson. I was actually told I looked like him once. Great actors like that. So what I want to do is, it came to my head while I was, sitting, but what I would like to do is a variety show. Mainly sketch comedy, but I want to throw in some other different types of content other than just comedy. I want to be able to say serious things if, I need to, or if whoever I get to be on camera needs to. Maybe do some short films here and there, maybe do sci-fi, things of that nature. But it will be mainly comedy based.
I love it. I mean, I think, comedy tells the truth over and over again.
Okay.
Sometimes that's the best way to get, when you talk about messaging and getting things across, you can say a lot with a joke. And I don't know, we would love to see things like that. We have, in the past partnered with some of the, like Third Coast and the different troops that are here in town to come in and make things. I wish we had a regular program like that. I hope that you're the one that makes that happen. But yeah, book the studio, come in, get some people together, same thing we talked about in class, get your format down, write your script, test it out, see if it's funny.
Well, now that he's approved it, I definitely need some volunteers. I'll need some writers, some actors, and some people to do production. To give you an idea of what's in my head, I don't want to get too in depth because, just to be honest, I don't want you to steal the idea. Nothing against you guys. Pretty sure you guys are wonderful people. But think Saturday Night Live meets The Shade Room. Anyone familiar with The Shade Room on Instagram? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's give you an idea.
We look forward to seeing it.
And that's my live pitch. Thanks.
I know your show's going to be funny because Sam and I were laughing up here, so that's a good tell.
My name is Susie Monick, and everybody's talking about new stuff. I had a question about old stuff because I've lived in town about almost 50 years and been coming to NECAT when it started. So there was a show called Joe Spear, and it had poetry. I made these little animation things, and everybody's passed away. And I was wondering if there were archives, because Channel 8 is doing retro Tennessee Crossroads. Is there any kind of archive of NECAT that has stuff from the very beginning?
So I can speak to this because we have been looking for things. What I would tell you as a word of warning is, because you do produce your own shows and you own your own copyrights and all that, you are responsible for the archive of your show. The way that we usually do it here, when you give us a new program, it usually runs for about 3 years before we retire it. But we do have a YouTube channel that about 10 years ago we started putting stuff up. So any producer that gave us permission, we would put it on there as an archival situation. Now, YouTube is not the best place to keep an archive because at any point Google can decide they don't want it and it goes away. I do have hope that in the future that we are able to save a lot more of these programs. I think now that we're part of the National Public Library, and again, this is not a thing that's set in stone, but what I would love to see is for all of this to be able to go into the special collections at the National Public Library. That way, 150 years from now, someone could go back, look at what was being made in town on, at this point in time. We've had some really good success on finding some older shows that people have brought to us. Recently, someone brought the entire run of the Bat Poet to us on VHS tape. We've been digitizing it little by little in the in-between times. But we don't have every show that ever ran here. Even when we were looking to, we made a commercial last year, we were looking for some early programming. And we went high and low, made phone calls to get what we could of older programming. So it's not all out there. The best thing I can tell you to do is look at the YouTube channel for Access 19 and for NECAT. There may be something there, but I don't know top of head if that specific show is there.
Oh, okay, thanks. And I have some, but like I said, some of my friends had tons of footage, but then they passed away, then they moved, and then, I've digitalized some of my stuff, but there's stuff that goes back into the 90s. And
And our archive is so important. I mean, Lee has worked in archive before. It's like, if you don't save it, no one else is going to. So it's like, make sure that you're making a copy and a backup copy and storing it, on a hard drive, in the cloud, anywhere that you can. I know somewhere in this town there was a bunch of old 3/4 inch tapes and VHS tapes and any number of media that's come out in the last, since 1978 that stored some of this stuff. It's going to rot because no one knows what it is. So
Yeah. Well, thank you.
thanks, Susie.
Okay, I promise you I'm back only for a short time. But I wanted to say something. I came to do this show, the High Heels Cabaret that I told you about. I had no background at all. So my second reason for being up here is I want to give this crew all the credit because I had no film background, just theater, but they led me, Sam, Eric, Cameron, led me through, Lee, yeah, I met you at the very first show I did. But they led me through the whole thing. So this is a fabulous, I had the idea that I wanted to create a show like The Voice because I'm in love with Blake Shelton, however he left. But these people made it all possible. That was only my first production show, but I was scared and I learned a lot, and I'll do better the next time is what Cameron tells me. They are very uplifting. So get out there and just do it. I just want to give you guys the credit because I would never have been here and never lasted if it hadn't been for Sam and Eric and all of you. So thank you so much.
I would say too, the thing that I always say is your first piece of television won't be your best piece of television unless it's the only one that you make. So we invite you not only to make your first show, but make your second, your third, and as many as you want. Is there anybody else that'd like to say anything before we break this party up?
One quick thing.
Yeah, please set the mic. Come on around too if you guys want to say.
Just one quick thing. I'd like to throw in an idea into the pool there that maybe NECAC could consider something as far as if they make the move to Donaldson, also looking at a small space on the west side and have like an east side and a west side. Because I imagine if you had the nice space in the Donaldson, which I think is great, you would only need a space about half this size over here on the west side. And it could be a semi-permanent location, a flex space or whatever. But with today's technology for smart thermostats and authorization for entry and all that, you could run that remotely from the east side and you'd have 3 times, 4 times the production time that we have now, which is already limited. So just an idea.
Thank you for that idea. I do think that, like, again, going forward in the future, there's limitless possibilities about what can be. I think since becoming part of Nashville Public Library, that opens us up. They know how to open branches. So again, it's like once we get to the other side of the studio, keep saying those things out loud to people, because I'd say hopefully years down the road we're in a position where we can do something like that.
And if I can just add, is keep making your television, keep coming and producing, keep bringing your friends in, because that's how we build the momentum to grow. So great idea.
Good evening, everyone. My name's LaShonda Hammond, and I have a show called Shonda's Lounge. It airs on Tuesday night at 11:30 and Fridays at 11 o'clock, I think Fridays at 4:30. And when I first came here, I didn't know anything about studio or anything, but my son went to MTSU for this stuff. And I love when I come here. It's been a while since I've been here, but my shows are still airing. And I appreciate everything that you guys are doing, because we don't pay a dime, except for just to join, to do the production and all that. So it's not too much we can say when you guys are going to bat for us. So I appreciate it, and thank y'all so much for looking out for us. But one thing that did surprise me, and I got Sam and Cameron, if he can remember, to look into it. The show's been airing for a while, and about 3 months ago, I got an email from BronxNet TV in New York. And I thought it was somebody playing with me. So I called up here and I got Sam to look in and talk to Cameron about it, and to make sure they were legit. And so, because first of all, I didn't apply for anything. I hadn't been to New York, and nothing I submitted or anything like that. And I'm trying to figure out how they found Shonda's Lounge. Why do they want to air my show? So we looked into it and everything, and now the episodes that I do here, they show it in Bronx every Thursday. So there's an opportunity out there. So, and I asked him, I said, how did you even find me? I don't know nothing about y'all because I'm asking questions, you know? And he said they were looking all over. I don't know how y'all do that, but they can look and see different shows that are showing in every state or whatever it is. And he said, so happened we ran across your show from NECAT in Nashville, and we like it, and we wanted to know, you know, of course you have to edit it and take NECAT off what you did and put Bronx or whatever it is, but there's an opportunity that, you know, you never know. Just by being here, the open doors, you know, the opportunity to work with everybody, you never know where it might lead you to. So let's just stay motivated, encourage, and boost these guys on, and thank y'all for helping us out. Appreciate it.
There is such a great opportunity. There, people all over the world watch NECAT. You know, it's like the people that are here in Nashville are the people that we're serving, but we get letters from all over the nation, and even like we had a country music show. They were getting all this like fan mail from Germany, and it's just like they were watching it through the Roku channel and love it there. So I think if you make good TV, people are going to find it, and it's like they were looking for your type of show, and it was there. So just like I told you that we have 3 channels we're trying to feed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every other public access station across America is doing the same. So there's opportunity out there for sure. Any last words? Or anybody else want to? I don't want to cut anyone off if you got something you want to say. Well, with that, I want to thank everyone for being here. Wish you all happy holidays. Again, there is hot chocolate, coffee, and cookies in the back. We invite you all to stick around and talk to each other. I want you to put on your calendars for March 14th, 2024 will be our next member meeting, and you will get another email about that. It's so good to see all of you out here. And again, just want to wish you all happy holidays. Anybody here? Final words?
Happy holidays. Thanks, everybody.
Cool.